Next we have Paula, it looks like Witthaus, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm sorry? Okay, thank you. And followed by her testimony will be Gary Stein, and if Judy Evans from Tallahassee, Florida could please be on deck.
Good afternoon. My name is Paula Witthaus, and I've come here from St. Petersburg to speak to you. I would like to ask you to go with the Medicaid expansion because the mortality rate for the uninsured is 25% higher than it is for those that have coverage. This is John Thomas Byers. John had insurance when he was working, and he was misdiagnosed. He became too sick to work, and he lost his insurance. He sought out social services and local charities, whoever it was that he could get to give him some help. And because he did not have a reliable diagnosis, he was still considered able-bodied. John applied for emergency Medicaid when it was apparent that he was very sick. He went to the emergency room on September 18th, 2011, where he was, once it was noted that he was self-pay, which I maintain are the two most dangerous words in the state of Florida, self-pay. When it was determined that he was self-pay, he was sent home with the instructions to seek outside help because, well, there's not much that we can do for you. Again, he went to social services. He applied for Medicaid. On September 25th, he left our house for the last time, and he went back to the hospital, where once again they tried to turn him away because he did not have insurance. The reason he'd gone to the hospital was, on top of the underlying condition, vasculitis, that was misdiagnosed, he had acquired a distended hernia. Again, they didn't see it as life-threatening and figured it could be treated on an outpatient basis. He refused to leave until someone could tell him why he was so sick. 2 days later, he was on a vent, and 2 weeks later, he was dead. You know, the ironic part was that while he was in the hospital, we're still furiously trying to get that Medicaid money. 3 days after he died, I received a letter saying he was approved for Medicaid retroactive to 90 days. The people that did not make him well got paid anyway. I understand that's all the cost of doing business, but the cost we're talking about here on this side of the aisle are lives. Forgive me. It's a very, very close to home for me, and this is the first opportunity I've actually had to tell John's story to people who can effectively make change that other people do not have to go through what we went through. Again, I expect that those that have insurance are under the impression that when you go to the emergency room, poor people go to the emergency room and they get treatment, and that is not always the case. It was not the case for John Byers. Who was John Byers? John Byers was an American. John Byers was the son of a warrior. He was the father of one, the grandfather of five, my partner for 18 years, the center of our universe, a tax-paying citizen who put into the well from which he was not allowed to drink. But more importantly to you, I would think, was that he was a constituent. Your constituents are dying because they don't have coverage. Again, it's very personal to me, but it should be personal to you. John was one of 77 people that day that died due to not having insurance coverage, and I understand this room holds about 300 people. Picture these chairs filled with 300 people, all uninsured within 4 days. They will be empty. That's considerable. That's considerable because it's our loved ones that are dying, and there's not much that we can do. Again, health care is a right. It should not be a privilege that's bestowed upon those that have the ability to pay. And I urge you to give this help to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. We appreciate your testimony. Next.